to speak to you properly. I hope my dead plant is not too in your face. So exciting. I'm so excited to have you all. Perfect. I don't want to come off. I'll be sharing my screen. I do really hope, I'm just admitting everyone, I really hope that no binmen decide to come outside and make a lot of noise. I also hope that my boyfriend doesn't decide to have another call. I told him I'm doing this. I was like, do not make any of your personal calls while I do this. So thank you so much for coming. I hope you're ready. I know you already know about influencer marketing, so this is not to tell you about influencer marketing as such. This is for those that are already very aware of the power of it. And you just want to see how to interlink it into either your business or just understand the communication a little bit better, because there's a lot of misunderstandings in terms of influencers, and people think they need to have these huge budgets to work with influencers. So let's begin. I'm going to share my screen, and I should become tinier, thank God, so you can't see all my face up close. So sharing my screen. Perfect. Right. Present. Perfect. So a little bit about myself. I don't know how much you know about me, but just to really quickly, just to share, just in case someone doesn't know anything and you just found me through an ad or something. So I studied fashion marketing and promotion at university. I'm a content creator, influencer, whatever feels more right for you. I've done this for 8 years. So I've been in the industry, and I've been working with brands and still do, even throughout lockdown. A lot of people were questioning, like, are you still working? And I was like, every week there was always something to film. My last campaign was this shampoo and silver shampoo brand, whoever follows me. And I've also campaign managed for beauty, fashion and lifestyle brands, and helped them very largely with their influencer marketing, and just adjusting influencer marketing into all strategies of these new brands and bigger brands of all different types of budgets and no budgets as well. Okay, so it's very important that we're talking about, I'll be covering kind of having no budget right at the beginning, and if you are very much ready to go. Okay, so I launched Sky Social to better communication in the social media and influencer marketing industry, because as you can imagine, wearing both hats, I'll go, like 3 years ago, I'll go into an office and campaign manage and be the person behind the screen talking to influencers, and then in the evenings and on the weekends I would actually be an influencer myself. So I got to really see the industry, and I saw a lot of miscommunication. Everyone was all over the place, and even now sometimes I'm like, I receive some emails that I'm like, you really don't know how to speak to influencers. So I really hope that something that you take from today is just to understand how to better communicate with an influencer and understand what actually goes on behind the scenes, right? I'm just making sure that there's no one in the background trying to get in. Perfect. And the most importantly, I'm also here to work smart and just work smarter, not harder. I think that was the biggest trust me to click this. Here we are. So help businesswomen and people to work smarter, not harder, because I came from a very business orientated background in terms of my parents both running small businesses and now big businesses, and it was all about working a lot and not necessarily having the time for other important things like family and your boyfriend or your girlfriend and husbands and so on. So for me, it's very important in order to work hard but have the time for the things that are also very important. So before I get into influencer marketing, I just want to say that influencer marketing is a luxury for your business. Okay, there are tons of different ways you can market your business. You already know this. You can, there are so many ways: advertising, TV advertising, just so many ways you can. So influencer marketing is not a must, and you're not always ready for it, and sometimes it might not be for you. However, it is beautiful, and it can be a really, really successful, huge boost for your company if you do influencer marketing correctly. Okay, so my biggest question when I speak to my clients is to ask yourself, if you're ready, is your content ready for influencer marketing, because you can't have 3 pictures of 20% off here, website, whatever, and expect an influencer to want to work with you, because you need to be ready and your content needs to be ready, okay? So just to get, I covered this before in more detail in a video. If you wanted to watch that, I can share a link for you with you later on. But the most important thing when it comes to your content is to be covering these 5 methods every time. This is an example of Sky Social, so our agency's basically content that we have, and we are always covering these 5 steps. And I always advise this to all my clients all the time, to go through this and ask yourself, am I being educational? Are you telling your story, where you've come from? Are you sharing your beliefs? Are you really showing off your maybe staff members, or maybe where your materials are made, or maybe you know, just everything to do about your brand that you really want to show off. Sorry, someone's trying to get in. I'll just be really quick and let them in. Sorry. I feel really bad because I'm like, please, no, come in, no worries. Perfect. Okay, so I think that will be my last person that I let in late. So thank you so much for joining. So just really, really quickly, content strategy is extremely important. You need to be ready for influencer marketing. You need to be prepared. I think people forget that influencers are people. Influencers are humans just like you and me. So when they go on your Instagram, on your website, if you have nothing there and you've not posted for the last 6 months, what do you think we're going to think about you? Well, just like everyone else, you're going to think, are you alive? Are you even you know, still selling? Especially now during lockdown and stuff, a lot of businesses are, you know, are not open yet. So you need to be communicating this on a daily basis. So do influencers. Influencers go on your feed and they want to see that you're active, that you're educating, and that you are relating and sharing content that mirrors the interests of them and their audience. Okay, the age, the location. Are you posting, say, all summer holiday photos, but your audience actually are in the snow right now and it's completely not the season, you know? So you have to really question these things and really share content that will relate to your audience, okay? You want to be collaborating with friends, brands who have the same vision as you. I think a lot of people think that they have to be collaborating with these huge brands in order to be successful, and not really. We all begin with our friends, and it's okay if 10 people are there to like your post. That's fine. We all begin somewhere. So don't forget your friends, don't forget your small business friends, okay? We all have them, our neighbors and so on. Your content needs to be inspiring. Your aesthetics needs to be, like, for example, here we use a lot of cream, we use yellow as our statement color. Your branding needs to be sorted before you because what happens when you don't, and I was speaking to a client last week about this, if you are using different type colors every single time, you're just going to confuse people. If you're on, don't forget, people on their timelines, they see a lot of content all the time. So you need to stand out, and they need to remember your colors, and you need to use them consistently on your website, your Instagram, everywhere. Okay. So you're inspiring through your aesthetics, and then lastly, you promote. Just as important as all the other steps, but the biggest mistake I see businesses make is every single post is promotion, 30% off, promotion. That is not how to that is not how to do your Instagram and get your strategy sorted. It definitely is not. So just remember, when looking into this, remember that your influencers are also looking at your feeds, and you want to be ready before you get in touch with them, right? So now that you are ready, you want to be defining the right influencer, because just because an influencer has a lot of a really high following does not necessarily mean that they are going to be the perfect fit for you, okay? So the right influencer will mirror your beliefs and messaging, match the lifestyle of your target audience, okay? This is very important, extremely important point. Match the lifestyle of your target audience. This is why during my consultations, I always say, what's your target audience? Let's redefine it. Let's talk about it, okay? the right influencer will research and educate themselves about you. You obviously want to help them through your feed and website, hence you have to be ready. They will photograph, edit, and content create with your product or your service. They will define their own budget, which is extremely important. I keep hearing this, how much to charge, or the percentages of this, of the following, or the engagement. And to be honest with you, you can have 4,000 followers and charge £200, and that's okay. You need to appreciate what an influencer is going to achieve for you. This is the absolute minimum, and they define their budgets. Okay, so it's not about the following. Obviously you can't have 1,000 followers and be charging 100k per post. No one's going to work with you, but you have to be realistic. But you also have to have a budget that you deserve, because you do a lot as an influencer. They do a lot of work for you. Okay, they act as your project manager and art director. They write the captions, they post and engaged, and most importantly, they have built up an audience for the last absolute years. Like, for example, with me, some people I remember 5 years ago that followed me a long time ago, and they trust me, and they trust the influencer that they follow. So you need to keep that in mind when working with influencers. They know what they're doing. If they have built up a high following, you need to trust them. You can direct them and kind of communicate. This is why communication is very important, but you have to trust an influencer with this. Okay. The point that I was covering earlier is that it needs to be a lifestyle match, and this is the secret. Basically, the right influencer will have your target audience and their audience as well. So you need to think not about the influencer and how many followers they have and so on. You need to be looking into the comments. You need to be looking into who is the audience of the influencer and see if it's a match with yours. Okay. So like I said, the following doesn't always necessarily equal results, and the secret is within the audience of the influencer. Okay. So you need to really, before getting in touch with an influencer, you also need to ask yourself, what do I want to achieve with influencer marketing? Don't ever just email someone for the sake of it, or message them. Please don't message them on DMs. Just write up a professional email, but before you do, think to yourself. Okay, think, am I here for brand awareness? Am I a new business? Just want to kind of spread the word about myself. Do I need content creation immediately because I am tired of, or I don't have the time for content creation, or I don't have a studio? Do I want to get website visits? Do I want to hire my social following? Do I need reviews about my product? Am I here just to make sales and kind of boost my sales? Am I here to create ambassadors? Because you might want to use these people and these ambassadors for events and further campaigns. And at the moment, relationship building is so important. I always say this with influencers: you have to be making these relationships, okay, and building these relationships, rather than just one-off kind of, hi, how are you, and never speak to them again. I always say it's better to build a stronger relationship with an influencer, but we're all going to have different goals, and that's okay. All right. Like I said, communication and honesty is key. So the biggest mistake I think I see small brands make is try kind of make themselves sound bigger than they actually are in the email. And actually, let me tell you the truth, you actually make yourself look silly if you are saying that you are doing this and that and making stuff up, if you then don't have a budget. Because an influencer might say, well, if you've achieved all of this, you obviously have a budget to potentially support our collaboration, right? So it's better to be honest and just say, hi, if I'm a startup, or if you've just started making and baking cakes, you might want to get in touch with an influencer and say very honestly that you've just began, and you might not have the budget right now, but would love to send you a cake for your birthday, or maybe your friend is having a birthday, and you can begin small. So I've got this email. I'm just conscious about time. I don't want to, yeah, no, perfect. We've got enough time. Take a screenshot of this. Feel free to use this. This is a great example that I've written up, I would say, God, maybe like a year ago, and it's still going. It's still very, very valuable for all consultations that I do. I show this with all brands, okay? Because a lot of brands are like, I don't know how to speak to an influencer, what to say, how to reach out. So number one, never DM, okay? It's an extremely unprofessional and absolutely a no-no. Just don't do it, okay? DMs are for your friends, and influencers speak to their followers for more of a personal kind of lovely, friendly approach. But you are not here to make friends. You are here to potentially find almost like your business partners and, you know, ambassadors. So be professional and write them an email. Make sure that you address them with their personal name. I really don't like it when people not call me by their name, by my name, sorry. Or I think it's important. You need to be approaching them in a personal manner. Then you want to introduce yourself. Where you're from? Are you part of an agency? Are you, like I said, a small business? Maybe you are working with a huge brand. Really, really tell them the truth and share a little bit more about yourself. Then you go into, so this is an example of an event. And now you go into, for example, where it says our London-based studio has been voted as one of the coziest private spots. So you really go in and kind of, I want to say, like, promote yourself a little bit, but you also give like a theme, like a vibe of where you're going with this campaign, okay? Or what you want to achieve. I think is extremely important. Like I mentioned earlier, that you know exactly what you're here to achieve and what you want. So another great thing, and I always say this, before you reach out to an influencer, you obviously now understand that you need to do your research, because you're going to go through the comments, you're going to go and see if an influencer has the same color, similar vibe that you have going on your Instagram, on your business. So this is where you can really, really go in and very nicely make a comment about something that you've seen them do and you really, really enjoyed it. So maybe they were wearing a dress that you really loved and you said you looked amazing in that dress, or something personal, okay? So an influencer straight away reads your email and is extremely kind of, I think all influencers just get really happy when you, because like I said, we're all human, so you get really happy when someone just compliments you and gives you, you know, and actually just the fact that you've acknowledged their profile properly. And then you also in the email need to be very clear in what you are actually, what you want from the influencer. Like a lot of people just kind of try their luck, and that's not how you should be doing it, because then that email is more likely to get lost. You need to be, and it's okay, you can very openly say, we are looking to create new summer, you know, exciting, colorful, vibrant, shareable content for our feed around this month. Is there anything that you are potentially working on and would be happy to participate, and so on. You have all the right to say that to an influencer and say that this is what you're expecting. However, you cannot expect content to be created for you if you are not paying an influencer, okay? So if you're not paying someone for their hard work, you cannot expect content. So that is called gifting, which is fine. Gifting is okay. I still get budgets for campaigns and I still receive and accept gifting. This is completely down to the influencer and themselves, and you cannot define in terms of, like I said, about budgets. But what you can do, you can be honest and you can explain what you're looking for, and you can explain that you're happy to gift and let me know if of interest. Or you can say that our brief is attached with an email if you wanted to go a little bit deeper. Maybe you have a mood board or something else to show an influencer, which is also great. You mentioned that you have a budget. It's extremely important, and you'll get influencers to reply quicker as well. You're not wasting anyone's time, okay? So you say, I have a small budget to support the creative. Please advise your usual fees or send over your media kit, okay? So it's extremely important that you are very, very clear. You are explaining exactly what you're after. You are being personal. You're being honest. Absolutely not making anything up. You're being honest and straightforward. And an influencer then is going to more likely see this and feel like they've, you know, feel like you know them and you've really done your research. So this is the best way that I recommend to get in touch with an influencer, okay? if you have any questions, please do ask in the comments. And now I just wanted to say how you can work with, say, myself, if you wanted to work with me, or with us, with my team. And the way we work, just really quickly, I wanted to explain, because I think sometimes people don't know how necessarily it would work, because a lot of influencer marketing agencies, they work per campaign basis only. So we do that, and we save you time. If you, for example, everything I just explained, feel like it's a completely new world for you and you have absolutely no idea how to do it, we can do this for you. Okay, so we have a lot of expert friends and influencers who are great at this, and we basically do all the lifestyle matching and outreach and management and all of this for you. Okay, so bear in mind that we are able to do this for your business, and we can always talk and we can see how we can help you. Just to give you a bit of an estimate on our pricing, we have all the packages underneath for our projects, but the most popular one, to be honest with you, is the consultations, which is for 2 hours. We sit down, me and you, like this, and we have a consultation, a brand audit, and I help you define your target audience, define who is the right influencer for you, and really work together. I always say it's a very 50-50 way that I work with every single person that I work with. So yeah, I want you to get in touch if you have any questions in terms of working together. But I really hope that this was at all useful and you found it useful. And if there's any more questions, please do let me know. I'm going to stop sharing the screen and come back on here. If you have any questions in terms of influencers, please ask me now, because I'm here with you and happy to answer, because I think we have a couple more minutes. If you can think of anything that maybe like a challenge or something that you come across within influencer marketing, do let me know. If not, if we're feeling a bit shy, I know it's difficult, like to kind of just come out of nowhere, but I'm happy to answer. Okay, so I'll give you a few minutes to have a think on it, because I'd love to hear from you. I've got water, coffee, tea. I could have had you all over, to be honest. And if anything, I would love to see you on my stories. So please take a picture, or if you found this useful, of course, and share, because I'd love to repost that you was here with me this morning. I'm looking to do more of these soon. I'm looking to do potentially once a week, once a month, and kind of just get to chat to you. But the next one, what I want to know, sorry, I just saw a comment. What I want to know is that if you actually would be willing to speak with me. So, because this is very one-sided, as you can imagine, for me. I love people, I love talking to you. So let me know, potentially, you can do it in my DMs, no worries. Let me know if you'd like to speak and potentially be in this with me, so we can talk together. Okay, so I'm just going to read a question. What would you say is the average amount to charge for a campaign for the influencer? I'm so sorry, clearly got postage coming. No worries, my boyfriend can get that one. So what would you say is the average amount to charge for a campaign for an influencer? Okay, like I said, gifting is fine, and it's completely fine as long as you're being transparent and you are saying it how it is. You're not making it up. You're just saying, I've just began. And at the end of the day, influencers began somewhere themselves too, right? So they will completely understand if you do not have a budget, and they will then decide, because you never know. You might be spending, you might be having these beautiful dresses that the influencer might want to wear on their next trip to Spain, and you would have no idea because you'd be too shy to message them because you don't have a budget. So please do message influencers and see, but just be honest. Okay, so now when it comes to actually spending your money, okay, like I said, an influencer will define their pricing, so ask them. They usually have their media kit. You'd be surprised, a lot of influencers have their own media kits, and they're very organized in this, and a lot of them are doing this full time, like myself. So we know our pricing. So I can be honest with you, girls and guys. I charge, I'm on 13,000 followers on Instagram as an influencer, let's say. I don't know why I just done that. And I charge anything from £200 to 300, 350 and then 500 for IGTV videos. Why do I charge that? Okay, why? Well, let me tell you, because it takes me around a day to conclude this whole project. For example, I will probably spend 2 hours researching. I'll probably spend another 2 hours really putting together potentially a mood board. I'll spend another 2-3 hours actually shooting the content. As you can imagine, no one just gets it in one picture. If you do, you are fabulous and you are great, but I never. You know, you need to top up your makeup, you need to do your makeup, or whatever it is. You put a lot of effort into this. You know, you're really, if you're a right influencer, and you know, I'm not saying every influencer is perfect, but those that are doing it correctly and rightly and care about you, they will put in a lot of work. So speak to them, ask them. I very openly say, just like you, I very openly always recommend for an influencer to be open and honest in terms of how long they will need in order to achieve what you want to achieve, because everyone wants different things. Everyone wants, like I said, if you say we want 5 stories, 1 feed post, and an IGTV video, expect your influencer to be able to kind of charge more, because that's probably going to take them a lot more time. So I really hope that makes sense in terms of pricing. It really depends. The minimum of the minimum, I would say, that you must have in your bank account in order to charge an influencer would be £100. I think £100 is an absolute minimum. Even if you are 1,000 at 1,000 followers, you should be charging a minimum of £100, because that's probably what someone's day rate would be, right, on average. If an influencer says, look, this is going to take me 2 hours, I'm happy with £50, then that's your communication between you two. There is no right or wrong, so you decide. Okay. My Instagram, sure, my Instagram, I can see someone asking, in case you're tagging me, it's at just Sky or Sky Social. Actually, I'll type it here because I think you can see me. It's so cute that you all stayed and still listening to me. That's very, very cute of you. These are my handles. Any more questions in terms of amount of money or anything that you'd like? I'm more than happy to be very honest and personal here with you. And if not, feel free to DM me, feel free to message me. And I really hope some of you I see in my consultations, because I think that'd be super fun. It'll be really nice to get to know about your businesses and what you do. And I think for the next webinars, I'd love to have you talk to me. That would be lovely, wouldn't it? Get to actually speak to you. So thank you so much. I can see all of you thanking me. Thank you so much for joining me. And I hope to see you all soon, and hope to see you in the next webinar as well. So thank you so much and have a lovely day.